Welcome to this Junior's Gasoline Alley. Today we're doing a brake job on this here 2016 Nissan Sentra. So these Nissan Sentras, supercars, this one just hit 30,000 miles and it's time for some brakes. The driver is complaining of some pulsing when she puts the brakes on, so it's a good sign that the rotors are most likely warped. Now with a vehicle like this, you could get the rotors turned, though when I started to do the work, I can tell that there's a pretty good lip on these. The rotors have definitely taken some beating. And the other thing is it's just so inexpensive for parts on a vehicle like this. You might as well replace the rotors, and we're gonna replace the brake pads while we're at it. That way the vehicle can get back to driving, have another 30,000 miles problem-free, and that's exactly what we want. Now, all of the parts that are gonna be needed are linked down in the description below. I've got them right up here. It's pretty easy, just some rotors and some brake pads. The second thing is I'll have all the tools needed to do this job linked in the description as well. So that way, if you want to tackle this on your own, go for it. Now keep in mind, in that vein, what we're doing here is I'm showing you what it took me to get this done. So definitely do your own research, make sure you're capable, and take on that liability if you're going to do the brakes yourself. So we'll go ahead and start the job here. You will have lifted up your car however it's going to work in your scenario. Just got to get the wheels off, so we'll go ahead and start with that 21mm socket. So with the lug nuts off, we'll go ahead and take the wheel right off too. And this is going to reveal the brakes that we need to work on. All right, to get started on this, we're going to have two different bolts here that we're going to need to be able to take off. The first is going to be a 14mm bolt. That's for the caliper to come off of the carrier. And then we're going to need to take a 19 to take the carrier off of the hub. That way we can get the rotor out of here. So let's just go ahead and start with our caliper carrier here, or with our caliper coming off. So this can just open up like that. Put those right aside. This one comes off as well. And then now it's going to be as simple as kind of rotating this up and out of the way. So now the brake's out of the way. Make sure that you put it in a place that isn't totally going to kink our brake cable there. But now that that's out, we're going to keep the brake pads in the caliper carrier. And the reason for that is we're going to use this as our guide for when installing the new ones. Let's go ahead and take our 19 here. Take that out. Cool. So both of those come right out. Drop this down. And now we've got our handy caliper carrier with the brake pads in it. The rotor itself is going to be pretty tight on here, so we're going to go ahead and tap it, make sure it comes right off. Okay, now we're going to be able to cross over our brake pads. So I like to put the pads out just as I found them here. So we'll take both sides out, and now go ahead, pull the caliper spring off here. You'll notice the one with these little springs on the outside. This is going to go up first. Whoops. Gotta put it right side up though. And then our other one here, let's line these up. And this just presses right into place, just like that. Now we can take our new pads, and they're gonna hook in right on that little hook that comes with these. Slide right into place. Hook, hooks right into that, just like that. And then now we've got our caliper carrier covered up. So we now got our new rotor. Slide right onto place there. Now it's going to be time to get these caliper carrier bolts set up with just a little bit of Loctite. And then I'm going to take them here. Just line these up and start threading back in. Moving on to the next step, I'm just going to go ahead, hand tighten these up. We're going to check it for torque here at the end. Get that tightened up just for now. And you'll notice that the caliper won't go on, and that's because the piston has advanced out of the caliper, and with the brand new rotor that's not worn thinner and the pad's not worn thinner, we've got to press that caliper, or press the piston back into the caliper. So what we're going to do is we'll take this tool here. This is a caliper tool. Basically what it's going to allow me to do is slide this in just like that, and then it's going to allow me to push that piston back into the caliper. Now you can purchase and own one of these on your own. You can get them from the auto parts store. Usually they'll rent them to you for free. And that comes out. And then now, if we did it correctly, this should slide right on. All right, now we'll take those 14mm bolts that screw the caliper back onto the carrier here. Start threading those guys up. Oops. Get these tightened up, make sure that that's not going to move around on us. And then now we've got to do our 219s. So we've got our breaker bar on 219s. And that's all tightened back up. So with that tightened back up, it's now just time to put our wheel back on. And lug nuts, and we'll be ready. Put the wheel back on, thread the lug nuts in, and then we'll be ready for the bed end procedure. I've installed the brakes, done the bed-in process, and the braking system feels really good right now. You know, it's a pretty easy job. It's about 15 minutes per side, at least it is for me, and got it knocked out. Parts are pretty inexpensive, and remember, everything is linked down in the description below. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts on doing this job. Is this something that you would take on yourself? How did it go if you did? I hope my experience doing it has helped you. And while you're at it, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. It lets me know you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to see more videos like this into the future. And thanks. Have a great time.